All right. Good afternoon. This is October 12th. Got a Blue Yeti microphone. Might as well use it. So this is the Deep Dish Football Podcast. I'm restarting the podcast again. I know it's crazy. This is going to be episode 1, and it's going to be about me. And because I got a lot of questions, I keep getting questions. I think it's like every month I keep getting the same questions. Every 2 weeks I keep getting the same question. So might as well begin. I think a lot of people have confused me for other people, but it is what it is. It happens, and I don't blame any of the people. I do the same thing. I'm an absolute idiot when it comes to faces too, so no problem. So this is a little bit about me and the whole shebang, and hopefully you guys like this podcast. If you like it, give a thumbs up. If you don't like it, I apologize. But you guys don't get to see my face, and that's a big positive. Come on, people. All right. Well, first, my name is Peter Lionberg, a.k.a. Coach Big Pete of Deep Dish Football. I've been currently now the publisher of Deep Dish Football since 2016 of January. Was named Publisher 6 of Deep Dish Football of the panel. Was part of the panel too, and basically it was a nice little conglomerate of coaches that actually had enough of all the BS going on in high school football. And I'll get into that later. So let's begin. First of all, I told you my name, Peter Lambert. Make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpete@fp@gmail.com. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and email me, coachbigpete@fp@gmail.com. Make sure you watch Deep Dish Football live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. DuPage County Run Shoot with me and my co-host Patrick Cotto on Thursday. And Breakfast with Coach Big Pete on the Facebook page of Coach Big Pete every time, 9 a.m. Make sure you guys check that out. Well, first, I played football at Westmont High School. I'm originally from Forest Park, moved to Westmont. My brother is Fred Lineweber, one of the better recruits from that class in 1995 in the state of Illinois. Was an offensive lineman. My dad played at Prepredzone East football. Norman Lineweber, hell of a player too. Me didn't go really down for football skills, and I'll explain to that later. And football has been in my life for a long, long time, and I've loved the sport. My brother, when he got recruited by all the big schools, I saved all the graphics. I saved all of the brochures, the manuals. I fell in love with it, and I would look at it every day at my collection of recruiting manuals, recruiting stuff, and didn't really mean that much to my brother, but it was so awesome just looking at the Nebraska, the University of Michigan, Ohio State, Illinois State, SIU, Eastern Illinois. Big shout out to Coach Spoo, former great. NIU. I'm trying to think. Even the smaller schools, Division III schools like Simpson College, Amherst College, Carthage College. I'm trying to think of anything else. Upper Iowa. No, not Upper Iowa. North Dakota State. Just those schools and those brochures, those colors, and just the tradition. And my brother had some Ivy League schools, Harvard and Yale. It was just the tradition. Rutgers. Just the tradition of football is so rich and so awesome, and that's why I love football. The tradition and the game. It's unlike anything other. It is the ultimate team sport, and that's why I love football so much, and that's why I'm very passionate about it, and that's why I get angry at other people that and that's why some people have asked me, why are you so angry, or you get angry on this other person, you get angry at that, because I'm passionate about it, and I don't like people disrespecting the game of football. That's what gets me angry. Also, people that want to make that money off that game, make money off of kids, that pisses me off even more, and that's what gets me really angry. And that a lot of people have seen that, and a lot of people have seen my passion. And do I get over passionate sometimes? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I played at Westmont High School. Was very undisciplined. Got a lot of flags, no doubt about that. Um, and just a very, very undisciplined football player. That's why I get a lot of questions from players. How were you as a player? I was like, and I go, I was undisciplined. I was a little asshole. No doubt about that. Um, and after doing that, after playing football, I had a chip on my shoulder because I was angry about it, and I did not care about high school football after I graduated. I could have given two shits about high school football. I hated high school football. I loathed high school football when I graduated high school because I had a chip on my shoulder and I was angry about it. Very angry about it. And I loved college football and I loved the Chicago Bears. Those were my two loves. And I loved college football because I wasn't a direct fan of a team. I loved all the teams. I hated some teams. I wasn't a big fan of the flashy teams. I wasn't a big fan of the SEC teams. I was more of a Big Ten guy, a MAC guy, Army, Navy guy. I love fucking Army and Navy. Those were my two favorite teams. Just because the offense of the run and the tradition and the teamwork that it was done with those teams. I love those teams. But I hated Miami. I hate Florida State. I hate USC. Even though I got a friend that coaches at USC. I hate, I'm not a big fan of Alabama. I'm a little bit of a fan of Auburn. But I just hate flashy schools. I don't like that. I love Iowa football. I love Wisconsin football. Big fan of Illinois football as well. Illinois State, SIU, EIU. I love all those. I wish all those teams got the best of luck. But didn't really care about high school football that much graduating. Really actually hated it. Loathed it. Really did loathe it. And then Colin came to me in 2014. My best friend, who was a coach at Westmont, I believe at that time for 6 years or 5 years. He was 6 years. He was coaching there 6 years now. Assistant coach at Westmont High School, Richard Sybil, one of my best friends. They were looking for assistant coaches, and they hired the legendary Otto Zeman. And by the way, everyone says, "Well, you kissed the ass of Otto Zeman." I hated Otto. I hated Otto when I was in high school when we played against Riverside Brookfield. I wanted to basically choke the living shit out of him. But it turned out I learned a lot from the man, and that's the reason why he's the legend of the run and shoot. He's the legend of, he's the father of the five wide in the state of Illinois, and that's why he's famous. That's why he's a legend. And I learned a lot from him, especially passing and that. And I hated passing the ball, but I learned a lot from him. But Coach Sybil got me in. They were looking for assistant, and I was named offensive line and defensive line coach, which I was not expecting. I was expecting to be an assistant to an assistant as a volunteer coach. But I was the offensive and defensive line coach. Luckily, they hired another one of my friends who I became close acquaintances with was Scott Helton. And Scott Helton, he was a hell of an offensive line coach. I was happy because he took over as the offensive line coach. And I was a lot happier. Like I said, I'm a defensive line coach. I never, ever wanted to be an offensive line coach. It's like the scene from Ted. It literally is like the scene from Ted, with the teddy bear movie by Seth MacFarlane, and his boss brings him in and says, "I saw you do this. Why'd you do that?" And he's trying to get fired, and he says, "That took guts. I'm going to promote you." That was my whole life as coaching at Westmont football. Literally, I just wanted to coach defensive line coach, and I kept getting some of the best jobs. We need a JV coach. You're going to be the JV coach. What the hell? All I want to do is coach defensive line. So that was not good. But God bless Otto. He loved torturing me. So I coached defensive and offensive line in my first 2 years. My third year, I was named the JV coach because they needed a JV coach. Actually, no one wanted the job, and they made me JV coach, and that was not fun. But again, I love the game of football. I wanted to teach those kids my passion for the football, and those were just absolutely great kids. Big shout to Colton, Blaine, Matt Macy, Kyle Kraft, BJ. Who else am I forgetting? I'm forgetting a lot of kids. But just great kids. Liswan, Gabe Liswan, Rodriguez, uh, Jackson Arias, always Kyle Dolman, Quentin Brown, um, Matt Larson, Mark Larson. I forgot his full name. Jaru, Keith Doyle, the younger Sybil, Brett Sybil, Tyndall, all those guys. They were just absolutely great kids. And it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun coaching Westmont football. And again, we don't have a winning tradition. Westmont does not have a winning tradition. Westmont has a losing tradition. We're known as the Outlaws, basically, of the high school. And I did that when I played Westmont football. And that tradition still continues. And it is one of the most hated sports by the townspeople of Westmont. But we learned it. We learned to adapt to that hate from other people. And it made us stronger. No doubt about that. So 2014, we were close to the playoffs. We lost the sandwich. That morning, I got pissed off and I got angry and went to get some breakfast with one of my friends, he's a former NFL player. He's now an MMA fighter now. And he basically told me, he's like, well, there's a group of coaches that are a little bit angry the way Illinois high school football is going, especially with the media. And we would be interested if you could join in. I talked to him and I said, something's got to be done. And just going back, I literally had no idea. I had no idea how bad high school football media was, recruiting media. I was completely oblivious to the fact. Oh my God, I was just absolutely dumbfounded. All the crap that was still going on. I thought pay-for recruiting services were done in the 90s and 2000s. I thought they were done. But they were still there. For some weird effing reason, parents were still paying money. I was completely blown away by that. I was completely blown away when I would talk to college, my friends who were in college, coaching college football and high school football. I would talk to them and I would say, and I thought the stars were real. I thought recruiting stars and rankings, they were good. They weren't. And none of these writers ever coached. None of these writers, some of these writers never even played football. And they're given stars and rankings, and it's an absolute joke. It's just pay to play. That's all it is. And when I found out, I was like, holy shit, I was wrong about a lot of stuff. And it was dirty. And I mean, you had recruiting writers that were getting sued by players, literally getting sued by players because they had a message board or a forum and anonymous user said that kid was using performance enhancing drugs, and they couldn't find the guy that posted that anonymous thing, and the kid sued the owner of that message board. And I hate message boards. I hate forums. I was part of a situation where people put out, and I had cancer. My second year coaching, I had testicular cancer, and they put out my information on a high school football message board. That absolutely pissed me off. But the high school message boards and forums are just absolutely trash. We're talking about high school kids here. Come on, get a life. These are minors. You're talking about injuries. You're talking about a kid that's 16 years old and you're a grown man and you're a grown adult. You have parents throwing mud on another recruit because the other recruit got angry at them. And because their son's not getting recruited. So the forums, message boards, they're just a waste of time. They're a waste of space. They're just trolls. They're just adults that have nothing better to do and are sad about their life. So it makes them feel special to write anonymous shit. And they want to get the high school coach fired. And then you go back to them and you say, well, you can coach. You can be a volunteer coach. You can coach. Oh, no, I'm too busy. But you're busy enough to write on a message board or a forum about a coach. You sack of shit. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, so I had a thing with a message board, and it was back in the days, the Interstate 8, whatever crap it was. But it got me pissed off. It got me angry, and I didn't realize the power of a message board and a forum, what it had. I had no effing clue until I coached high school football and I realized these guys are a bunch of effing trolls. These guys are a bunch of jackasses. And it's just high school football, for Christ's sake. It's not professional football. It's not college football. It's high school football. And that was the main thing with the panel for Deep Dish Football. It was urging high school football. It was bringing media back to a sense of reality. And it's not all media. There's great media. Chris Durr of Quincy, NUIC Football, Daily Herald. I love the Daily Herald, by the way. I was a little bit angry about the Chicago Tribune. They dumped their whole department, but the regional departments, they do a good job. Jeff Vorf, a hell of a guy. Tim O'Brien. All those Suburban guys are good. Pat DeSabdo, he's a hell of a writer and a hell of an announcer too. With his thing, he does a wonderful job. All the Central Illinois, Southern Illinois papers, God bless you guys. You guys do a wonderful job. And the Northern Illinois, Freeport, Rockford, you guys do a great job too. But it's like the Chicagoland area, just a cesspool of BS. Some of the writers, and you got writers that don't really actually care about the sport. All they care about is lining their pockets with money. Especially recruiting writers, they want to line their pockets with money, or they want to go into the NFL and they get a job in the NFL, which is absolutely sad and pitiful. Respect the game. I don't care that you want to go to the NFL. I don't care that you want to work in the NFL. But if you're covering high school football, show the respect. Show the same respect that you would show that. Show the same respect, and don't just use it as a ladder for your career. And that's what pisses me off about some of the things. But it is what it is, and I think it's changed for the better. And I encourage more blogs to get involved with high school football, do your own conference coverage, and make it fun. And that's what high school football is for these kids. It's fun. Shouldn't be anything else. I talked about recruiting services, and again, like stars and rankings, they mean absolute crap. And I say that numerous times, and I've said this numerous times, and I keep getting questions about it. Stars and recruiting rankings have nothing, are just absolute crap. You mean to tell me a writer who's never played or coached in his life or ever scouted in his life? And I love when people use scout in their name and they don't know anything about the game, but they use scout. And he used the same words over and over and over and over and over in every writing. It's a joke. It's disrespectful. The college coaches only care about one thing and one thing only. They want to talk to the high school coach. They don't care about writers. They don't give a shit about what I have to say. They don't give a shit about what Jimmy Bag of Donuts has to say from some recruiting service. They don't care about that crap. What they care about is the relationship that you have with the high school coach recruits. That's what matters the most. And we talk about fake recruiting stars and recruits. We talk about rivals, and rivals is an absolute joke. But they did one good thing. They hired Clint Cosgrove because they want to bring a sense of legitimacy back to the rivals. And Clint Cosgrove, and people keep asking me, what do you think about Clint Cosgrove? I think he's awesome. Former D1 athlete, former Division I coach, hell of a guy, high character guy, great guy. He's going to be the face of ESPN in the coming years. I guarantee you that. And Rivals did a good job of hiring. Before that, I hated Rivals. I loathed Rivals. And we talk about that. We talk about the situation with Blake Carringer. Make sure you search that on the computer. Blake Carringer, BlakeCarringer. Blake Carringer. He was a fake recruit. Rivals gave him stars. That's right. He didn't exist, and they gave his ass stars. That's right. That's what stars mean. It's an absolute joke. Search Blake Carringer and you'll see the whole story. But it's a joke. It really is. It's sad, and I'm gonna have people, and I got people now that I'm gonna answer some of the questions that people asking me. What are your thoughts about NUIC? I love NUIC. Kyle Camper is the best. Him and his wife do a wonderful job. I'm forgetting the other co-host. He stopped working for doing the duties with them, but he comes back for every IHSA playoff pairing show, and he does a wonderful job. Shane Kyver, he's a great guy too. But Kyle and Kari, they're awesome. They do a wonderful job. Big shout to NYC. What do I think about Gridirons? I think Gridirons is a great site. You gotta check it out. They cover MSL. I'm forgetting the division, but they do a wonderful job. Palatine and Framed and all those. He does a wonderful job. What are your thoughts about Channel 1450? I love Channel 1450. I think it's awesome. Big shout out to, hopefully I get the name right. Shane? Is it Shane? I'm horrible with names and faces. I apologize. Daily Herald I like. What are your thoughts about the Sun Times? I like the Sun Times. I'm pissed off that Beth Long didn't continue with the Sun Times. I think Beth Long is a hell of a writer, and I think she cares about the game of football. I was angry to see her leave. I really was. You got two basketball writers at the Sun Times covering football. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Um, what are your thoughts on? Let's see what else. What other questions did you keep? Everyone asked me, do you really hate Edgy Tim? No, I like Edgy Tim. I like Edgy Tim. I think Edgy Tim is a great high school football prep writer. I think he is. Now, does he got to stop referencing himself as a football expert? Yeah, he's got to stop that because he never coached, he never played, and it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the game. And I don't like people being disrespectful to the game. It's the only thing that pisses me off. That really, really pisses me off. What are your thoughts on Lemming? I don't know which Lemming they were. The younger Lemmings are awesome. They're the nephews of Lemming. Jacob Lemming, he's doing a wonderful job at Prepredzone. They asked me what I feel about the Prepredzone. I think Prepredzone's doing a great job. Now, they're starting to cover middle school kids. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think kids should have fun and not care about recruiting in middle school. And people are like, well, there was a few middle school kids that were offered. Yes, they were offered by colleges, but it was a publicity stunt, okay? It was basically a publicity stunt, just to let you guys know. What other questions do you guys got for me? How old are you? I keep getting that question. I literally keep getting that question. I think because I shaved my beard. I'm 35. I turned 36 October 17th. It is currently October 12th, and I think it's because of the beard. I should have never cut off my beard. People thought that I was 40, 50 years old. I'm 35. I will turn 36 October 17th, 2021. So, what do you do for days work? I currently cut and meat. Did a little bit of construction. I did everything. Remodeling houses. I was a janitor as well. I was, what else was I did everything. I worked at Target. Security. I've done everything. And people keep asking me, well, are you going to switch your day job to go to writing in it, prep writing? I cannot do it. I just, in my body, in my mind, and in my bones, I just can't do it where I'm going to have to do 3 or 4 showcases a year. I'm going to have to charge a subscription service to the website. I can't do it. It's just not in my nature. And if you're going to use a kid's name for clout and write an article about him, he should be able to see his effing article. Come on. He should be able to see his article. And also paywalls or subscription fees, they suck. Oh, I forgot. Someone asked me, what do you care? What are your feelings about Friday Night Drive? I like Friday Night Drive. Stevenson, one of the writers, I really, really like. He's got some good stuff. Some of the writers up in Crystal Lake, they're pretty good too. I wish they would stop saying that they cover Illinois football, because they don't cover Illinois football, because their company's reaches to Central Illinois. If you're going to say you cover Illinois football, you cover the whole state of Illinois. Not just a little bit, just not a part. You got to cover the whole state of Illinois. But they do a wonderful job. Friday Night Drive does a wonderful job. I know some of the writers are angry at me. You can't say that about injuries. The truth is, you should not be talking about injuries. That's the truth. These are minors. These are literally minors. And back in the day, the writers did not talk about injuries. College football, back in the day, they would pan the cameras away from the injury and they wouldn't talk about it. They'll say, oh, number 21 is down on the field, and they wouldn't ask for injury reports. But now we got injury reports on college kids and that stuff. And the big reason is because of gambling for college. Are you gambling on high school football? If you do, you need a fucking life. I do apologize for that, but you really need a fucking life. Honest to God, you need a fucking life if you're gambling on high school football. Might I suggest a bathtub and a toaster? That might work if you're gambling on high school football. You literally are the legitimate fucking scum. You need a life if you're gambling on high school football. We don't need to know about kids' injury. Simple as that. How do I get recruited? Everyone keeps asking me this, and I keep saying the same thing. Fill out the free recruiting questionnaires on college teams' websites. Get your Twitter and huddle up to date with your information. Put the correct information. Use your correct name on the Twitter and the huddle. Have an email address. Fill out those free recruiting questionnaires. Fill out the scouting questionnaires. Brian Alt of Catapult Sports filled out his questionnaire. National Preps fill out their questionnaire too. It's free. Recruiting is free, people. That's all I gotta say. Recruiting is free. What else? Is my high school coach doing right by me? Oh, I know. Yes, your high school coach is doing right about you. Your high school coach is talking about you if he's asked about. But if your college coach asks, hey, is this kid, does he have any problems? The high school coach will tell the truth. The problem right now is you have paid for recruiting services getting into the parents and kids' ears and saying, your high school coach isn't doing it. He's not doing it. He is doing it. All the college coaches got to do is make a call, and he talks to the high school coach. We've had a few lawsuits in Illinois, high school coaches being sued by parents and recruits, and they've all been thrown out. Because why? Because they're absolutely stupid. And they don't understand the fact that all the high school coach has to say is yay or nay. And, well, my son was a star and he said nay. Well, the problem is that your son he's a good player, but he's an asshole. He really is an asshole. He's a jerk. Sorry, but it's true. Let's see, what other... would you coach again? I've been offered numerous times, numerous head coaching spots, and this is one of my biggest beefs. I hate some of the athletic directors because they're ladder climbers. They don't care about their job. They want the hottest fish in the pan and to put them in a job and say, look, I hired this. I've been offered numerous head coaching spots, and I have said no because they don't research my resume in coaching football. I'm a JV head coach at Westmont, a defensive line coach, an offensive line coach. I should not be a head coach of a program, so come on. Yeah, and I told that to ADs, and some of these athletic directors don't understand it. They don't get it. They're just ladder climbers. They want to climb up to get their next big job. That's what it is, and they really don't care. They just want the hottest fish in the pan. That's all they want. Feelings on Clint. I already said I love Clint Cosgrove. He's a hell of a guy. This is the question I keep getting asked. Am I related to Ivlo from Bolingbrook? People think that I'm Ivlo's son. No, I am not. I have so much respect in the world for Coach Ivlo of Bolingbrook and his kids as well. They're great kids as well. One's coaching at St. Charles North. Big shout out to the Ivlo family and clan. Favorite high school team? I don't have a favorite high school team. If you want to, if I can say it, I can say Westmont High School. I'm a little bit favorable towards Westmont High School, but they lose, and that's just part of the thing. And when you have an administration that's against you, when you have a group of people that are against you, it's tough to win in a high school when all that comes together. Favorite team to cover? I like teams that have good fan bases. That's my thing. I like teams that have good fan bases. I like Taft High School. Big shout to Taft High School. Batavia, Rochester. I really like covering Rochester. Phillips, a lot of respect towards Phillips football. I'm starting to become a huge fan of Oak Forest football. Keep an eye out for Oak Forest. Brother Rice, good. Brother Rice. I got to say Nazareth because if I don't, my brother's going to hear from his alumni friends. St. Rita, Marist High School. I really like Marist High School. Chicago Academy. I like Chicago Academy. They're a small school in Chicago, but I got a lot of respect for them. Chicago Hope Academy. That's another school I like as well. Whitney Young. Morgan Park. I love Morgan Park and Kenwood. Those coaches, Sneak Turner and Chris James, watch out for those guys. Those guys they're just not coaching, but they're leading young men. They're leading young boys into becoming men. And Chris James and Sneak Turner deserve a lot of respect. No doubt about that. I already talked about that. I was an undisciplined player. What's up with the? What's up with? Can't even read my own writing. That's the problem. What's up with the? Oh, what's up with the shit? Why did you shave? Just cause I didn't shave this summer, and I should have shaved this summer. I didn't shave last summer because of COVID, but now I'm shaved. Let's see. Any more questions? If I have any more questions, what are your feelings about this IHSA football season 2021? And I keep getting that question a lot. I'm happy. This is week 7 now. Yeah, week 7, week 8, week 8. Yes, week 8. I am very, very happy. I'm very happy about this season. A lot of upsets. I'm still worried. I'm still worried about the player participation. That scares the death to me. And that's got to be addressed by the IHSA. That's got to be addressed by us, the media members. And we got to defeat these stereotypes of the evil football team and the evil football coach. And it's a good sport. I fucking love this sport. I love this sport of football. I love it. It's the greatest team sport, the tradition. I've been a fan for a long time. Chicago Bears, college, football. Just, it's the history. It means so much. It is the sport that is more diverse and more, how do you say, more accepting of the fact of all cultures than any other sport. And that's the truth. And yeah. What other question I got? What other sports do you like besides football? That's a weird question, but I keep getting that one question too. I hate basketball. I hate baseball. Don't like hockey because it's just football on skates. I loathe golf. Golf is not a sport. I'm gonna get a lot of people pissed off about that on me. I like European football, soccer, as most of people like it. But but football's number one. Soccer's second for me. If it's a sport, it could be a sport. Still in the kid of me. I still like it. And I know people are gonna get on me. Oh, it's fake and all that. I like professional wrestling. I'm a big fan of professional wrestling. Yes, I know. How old are you? It's fake. I know. I understand. But that is it for the intro of Coach Big Pete podcast number 1. I need a name for this podcast. I need a name for it. You know what? I'm going to call this podcast because my butchering days. I'm going to call this the Butcher's Block. Simple as that. I'm going to call this the Butcher's Block. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hopefully this wasn't bad as it is, and